All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're very excited to have Paul with us this evening. Rocky has been a favorite for a long time, and we're even more excited now that they have some fun, exciting new things to share with us. Very glad that you could join us tonight and listen in a little bit. We are excited to have Debbie Kellogg on with us this evening. And of course, this is Eric Pearson, and I'm Angela Pearson, and we thank you all for joining us tonight. Wallace Pearson Travel has, as I mentioned, been a very big fan of Rocky Mountaineer for a long time. We've done some really fun trips together in the past and have some group space in Canada for this year if borders open. What we're super excited for Paul to chat with all of us tonight about is a little bit closer to home and maybe feels a little bit easier and safer to plan on. And they are part of the wonderful network of Virtuoso, so we'll have a lot of great added value opportunities when we work with you on these trips. So tonight, Wallace Pearson Travel would like to introduce you to Rocky Mountaineer and Paul Corrigan. So Sir Paul, if you'll take it away.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much. I am the business development manager for Rocky Mountaineer. I've been in the travel industry a very long time, since 1986, actually. I was looking at a picture from my days way back when I worked for Royal Caribbean, one of my early jobs in sales. But I love Rocky Mountaineer, been with them for several years. It's an amazing company. I get to really work with top-notch agencies like Wallace Pearson Travel, and we've done a lot of good stuff together. And today you're going to learn mostly about our brand new U.S. route, which is really extremely exciting for our company. Our company's been around for over 30 years, and 2020 was our 30th year of being business. We've had over 2 million people travel on our trains. We've grown from, a one train route back in 1990 to we have 4 train routes, 65 rail cars that we operate on those 4 different routes. And of course, this US route is brand new. We announced it in November. The first departure is going to happen in August. And so we're super excited, and the sales have been just booming because it's a new destination for a lot of people that have been wanting to do Rocky Mountaineer, and of course, traveling in the US, seeing the beautiful national park. So I'm going to go through a presentation that'll give you some idea of what it's like to travel on Rocky Mountaineer and to join us on this particular trip. So just give you a little background. Rocky Mountaineer, as I mentioned, been around for 30 years. We're known for our luxury train experience, but we are a scenic daylight rail operator. We're privately owned, privately operated. All the employees on the train are employed by Rocky Mountaineer, and the train's a custom designed for our clients. The seats are all custom designed, the interiors, the exteriors, and it's really first-class travel designed around scenic rail routes. It's all inclusive, so your gourmet dining is included, all your alcohol and snacks throughout the day. Our hosts on board the train, not only do they entertain you throughout the day, serve you the drinks, serve you the food, but they're storytellers. They're knowledgeable of the passing scenery. So that's one of the great things. And what you'll see outside the windows is magical. And in the evenings, we overnight in hotels. So we don't sleep on the train. It's all about daylight travel, scenic beauty outside the windows. And in the evenings, you get a good night's sleep at your hotel. Of course, we take care of your baggage, your transfers, everything from start to finish. So you don't have to worry about that. I mentioned the food. We do locally sourced, locally inspired dishes. So we serve up some of the best Canadian type of cuisine for you. We have executive chefs who are Michelin trained that design the menu. Of course, we'll have local wines from British Columbia, as well as craft beers and other cocktails as well. So it's really a great culinary experience. So I'm going to show you really highlighting the Silverleaf rail car, which is, and we're not going to talk so much about the Gold Leaf. Gold Leaf is in Canada. Silverleaf is what we're featuring in the US, since we're talking about the US. But these rail cars are absolutely stunning. And one of the things you'll notice is the high ceilings. It is a dome car. but huge picture windows. So regardless of what side of the train you're seated on, you can see both sides of the scenery outside. It's very light and bright and cheerful. The seats, as I mentioned, custom designed. They rotate 180 degrees. A lot of people like to socialize. So if like they're traveling with other people, they may turn their seats around and with their travel companions and hang out together. So it's really a nice experience. And drinking a glass of wine, having a cocktail, enjoying the commentary from our host on board. And on a Silverleaf rail car, we have 3 Rocky Mountaineer hosts that serve the guest on one rail car. So you can see it's really high touch service. Dining is going to be seat side. So you'll have nicely plated gourmet meals served right at your seat. Your drinks would come by. Again, you can relax and enjoy a beautiful meal. The hosts are knowledgeable. They're going to tell you about the passing scenery, point out wildlife. They keep you entertained, as I mentioned, but they're really phenomenal. We have seasonal hosts. We have over 400 that work for Rocky Mountaineer. They come back every year. About 90% of them really make this a career, and they work 6, 7, 8 months with Rocky Mountaineer. And then the other time they're out there skiing or seeing the world. Now, one of the unique things that we're doing in the US, so we couldn't bring our gold leaf rail cars down because some of the tunnels that we're going through were built in the late 1800s and early 1900s for these rail routes. And so they weren't built high enough to accommodate a double-decker train. So we're bringing these beautiful Silverleaf rail cars, but we're doing an upgrade option. And this is great for your travelers going on. You can look into this if you want to do this as an individual trip. We have the Silverleaf Plus upgrade, and it gives you access to a host or a exclusive lounge car. So that would be something new feature that we've introduced for the US route. The other thing we're doing is on the US route, we're using Southwest cuisine. So we're going to have different meals and different types of food served that more like blend in with the local environment as well. Now, this is a short video. Hopefully this will work to give you an idea of what the brand new route looks like.
An extraordinary place deserves an extraordinary way to see it. Our newest route, Rockies to the Red Rocks, brings 30 years of Rocky Mountaineer's world-class service to the stunning desert vistas of the American Southwest. Traveling from the vibrant Denver, Colorado, past some of nature's wonders, vast canyons, chromatic deserts, and panoramic views, to the mesmerizing red rock landscapes that twist through the bright blue sky. It's rail travel at its best. After all, if you're going to see an extraordinary place, you want an extraordinary way to see it.
So as you can see, the brand new route, and now the train will operate between Denver and Moab, Utah. So it's going to cross over from Colorado to Utah. It's an absolutely stunning rail route. And we did 3 years of research to try to pick the perfect US route for our first train experience in the US. But in addition to that, we'll have different packages that will branch out to go to Las Vegas, seeing sights around between Moab and Las Vegas, or up to Salt Lake City. The train does run both directions, so you can either start in Moab and head to Denver. But I'm just going to show you some, images here, talk about the different highlights of this itinerary. Denver, Colorado, most people have not really experienced Denver. It's an urban adventure city, very unique in its style and ambiance. One of the things that Denver is known for is really that outdoor parks and recreation, in addition to the beautiful nightlife that they have there, and great hotels. These are the 3 hotels that we are featuring in our itinerary. We've got the Maven, which is a locally owned hotel, very chic, very modern in the Dairy Block area of Denver. Denver is also a very walkable city, which is a great place to visit. Union Station, you got the Crawford Hotel and this beautifully redesigned Union Station, which is a train station, but it's a gorgeous hotel in there. And Oxford is the oldest hotel in Denver. This is a picture just kind of shows you the 3 hotels that we feature. So you get to choose the hotel you want to stay in. Everything's customized for the first year. It'll a little less customization, but you get to choose the hotels in this area. And then downtown Denver, there's Union Station. 16th Street, very walkable street, a lot of great shopping. You can walk to, actually, they have a lot of free transportation to different places, a lot of great restaurants. They're also known for their beer. So if you're into drinking beer, craft beers, this is a place to go. It's like the Napa Valley for beer lovers. And, again, here's a picture of 16th Street, the pedestrian road. Performing Arts Center, they have the 2nd largest performing arts center west of Chicago, and also some great art museums as well that you can see. There's another picture, Union Station. So you can see what that Union Station is. In Union Station, there's actually a train that goes right from the airport into Union Station, where one of our hotels is. And there's a picture of the Denver Art Museum. And they have a lot of street art. So I always recommend, if you have time, this group itinerary I'll talk to you about, we do spend 1 night in Denver. But if you want to fly in a day before to really experience Denver, I highly recommend that. And if you do, and you have time, in the local area of the Denver, you have Red Rocks Canyon Amphitheater. So you can go here, spend a day visiting this park, or if there's shows actually happening, you can catch a show here at this famous theater. Or you can go visit Rocky Mountain National Park, which is only an hour and a half away from Denver. Rent a car, visit it for the day, come back to the hotel at night, and you get to see this magical national park, which is one of the more popular national parks in the US. Or if you have time, you want to go see the Air Force Academy. So you can see there's so much around Denver to do. So if you have a couple extra days and you want to visit Denver in the outlying area around Denver, I would recommend it. Now, when you start the train, I'm going to talk to you about the train experience going from Denver heading westbound, although we go both directions. So that you'll board the train, we transfer you from the hotel over to the train station. We take your bags from your hotel room, we bring it to the next destination, which would be Glenwood Springs. The train will leave around 9 a.m. in the morning, and all those little blue dots are like places that you'll see along the train route. Absolutely stunning views and sights, historic areas, and then you arrive in Glenwood. It's about 8 hours. We have breakfast served on board, lunch served on board, drinks will start pouring early in the morning, and have it all day. And then as we cross the Continental Divide, we do champagne toast, we'll serve canopies. So it's really a very culinary and fun experience on board. Some of the sites like Gross Reservoir Dam, just one of the things that you'll see along the way, or the Glenwood Canyon is just another example of beautiful sites. Glenwood Springs, I had never heard about Glenwood Springs until we started beginning to operate here. But it's actually it's a resort that became famous in the late 1800s because it had hot springs. And when the trains first came into Glenwood Springs, that's what brought all the tourists there. And it's just a place to go to enjoy hot springs. They have mineral hot springs pools, and they actually have the largest mineral hot springs pools in the world. They also have these vapor caves, which are basically natural steam rooms with the mineral springs. People can drink the water, the mineral springs water. They say you lose 10 years or you gain 10 years in life by drinking that stuff. There's actually great restaurants. So we arrive around 5 o'clock, you'd go over to your hotel, you have the evening free, lots of good restaurants. What people will do, a lot of them, they'll go to these hot springs pools. This is, again, the largest hot springs pool in the world, 16 minerals. You can go in there, you can spend an hour or two then go out to dinner, or you could actually go to dinner and then come here afterwards. But these hot springs pools are available to explore. Then the next day, so we're only there one night in Glenwood Springs, and we're going to board the train in the morning, and then we're heading over to Moab. It's about 5 hours on the train. The first day was about 8 hours of train experience, and this is about 5 hours. You arrive in Moab in the early afternoon. You're going to pass sites like Mount Garfield, the Book Cliffs. You'll see LaSalle Mountains. You can see the top topography is changing and the different sandstones. Moab is a year-round resort, very famous. Actually, it's the bike capital of the world. I mean, like cycling, mountain biking, I guess. And it's also known for film. You'll notice a lot of pictures around here. You'll remember those John Wayne films, Westerns from way back, but there's over 100 films that were filmed in and around Moab. They have excellent Southwestern food, shopping, jewelry, and all that stuff. We do have 3 hotels that we feature in Moab that you can choose from, whether it's a Hilton or Hyatt, or the Hoodoo Moab is another hotel that we feature in our itinerary. So you get to choose which hotel you want to stay in, and the price depends on that. Now, what is Moab also known for? It's actually the sort of the gateway to the Mighty Five, which is some of the most beautiful national parks in our U.S. You've heard of these: Arches National Park, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, Bryce Canyon, and Zion National Park are all very close by to Moab. So what a lot of our guests will do is they'll spend several nights in Moab, and they'll either explore it on their own, or we also have tours that we do, such as like this one here. So we're working with Wallace Pearson Travel on this exclusive group departure, and it's a Southwest Wonders by Rail. It's a 9-day, 8-night itinerary departing September 21st through the 29th. It's actually a great time to go because you have excellent weather all throughout the itinerary. This is $49.36 per person for 9 days, 8 nights, and I'm going to go through the itinerary to give you an idea of what you'll see. So it includes 2 days on the rail. So you're going to start out in Denver, and it's going to head westbound to You're going to overnight in Glenwood Springs, 2 nights in Moab. Then you get into Canyonland or Lake Powell, where you'll spend 2 nights there, 1 night in Bryce Canyon, and then 1 night in Las Vegas, and lots of sightseeing along the way. 13 meals included, all your hotels, your transfers are included as well. And you'll visit the national parks, and there's a lot of different highlights. Gratuities are included for the onboard host, your baggage handling. So the itinerary goes Denver, Glenwood Springs, Moab, and I'll go through like some of the highlights along this trip so you can kind of see what's included. So few really good highlights. You're going to have Lake Powell overnight, dinner in Lake Powell overlooking the lake, dinner at the $1 Million Sunset Grill, $1 Million View Sunset Grill. You're going to have picnic lunch in Canyonlands, stargazing is also part of it. There's a Western dinner one night, boat rides on the Colorado. And again, I want to just go through this here. So let me get to this here. So when you arrive first from Denver, you overnight to Glenwood, then you get into Moab. You'll be met at the train station by the guide in Moab. And the first stop you're going to do is you're going to go to Dead Horse Point State Park. And it basically, you're right around here. You're going to have a picnic lunch overlooking this beautiful lake that, or not the lake, but the Colorado River below, which is about 2,000 feet below in this state park. Absolutely stunning views, and just have a relaxing picnic lunch, enjoy the beautiful air, get some amazing photos. Then from there, you're going to actually go and do a sightseeing tour of Canyonlands National Park. On day 4, so after you do Canyonlands, you're going to visit, you'll go to see some of the Green River, Colorado River, Mesa Arch will be part of the tour that you'll do. You'll have that night free, day 3 free, and then day 4, you're going to see Arches National Park. So we take you there in the morning, which is a great time to go because you really the mornings and the afternoons when the sun hits these sandstones are absolutely perfect for picture taking. And you can see some of the pictures here. You're going to visit like delicate arched windows, arches, double arch, which double arch is a picture of. Balanced rock or some of the different spots along the way. A lot of places we can pull over and get pictures of. Some places we may walk to experience it. So we'll spend about 3.5 hours touring this. The guide will be telling you all about the national park. Then after that, you'll head back to the town of Moab, have a chance to go to lunch on your own, and then we'll come back to this area. We're going to do a jet boat ride in Canyonlands National Park. So you're going to go on the Colorado River in a jet boat ride. It's not like a high-speed jet boat, but it's really beautiful because you're going to be riding in the Colorado River where all these sandstone red rock cliffs are both sides of you, and you'll get a chance to experience that beautiful views over there. And it's a wonderful time to do it. The guides are very knowledgeable. They'll tell you all about the national park there. That evening, we go to this place, the Sunset Grill. It's a famous restaurant with a $1 million view. It was founded, but it actually was a home of, his name is Charlie Steen, not Charlie, not the actor Charlie Sheen, Charlie Steen, who is a uranium tycoon. And basically there's uranium there and he made a lot of his money doing that. And he turned his mansion into a restaurant. He's no longer alive, but it has an amazing view of Moab and the area down below. Then from there, we're going to head on day 5. So after spend 2 nights in Moab, we're going to head out on day 5, and you're going to visit Monument Valley. This will be one of your highlights of the trip because you're going to do a Navajo guided Jeep tour. So you're going to arrive there, you're going to have a Navajo guide that's going to take you through the Monument Valley, which is actually a Navajo Nation tribal park. It's not a national park, but it's a tribal park. And you'll get to learn about really the area here, as well as the Navajo people. You'll get to learn about the culture. You'll see a demo of like weaving, a weaving demo as well. Learn a little bit more about the Navajo people on this tour. And so you're going to really, their guides are very entertaining, but they're Navajo people that are giving you the tour, and you'll learn all sorts of things about that. From there, you're going to go to Lake Powell. Now, Lake Powell is absolutely stunning place to go. You're going to spend 2 nights in Lake Powell. And when you're in Lake Powell, you'll have a hotel overlooking the lake, and you'll have opportunity to visit the lake. We're going to do a sunset cruise on the lake. We're also you'll have a chance on the first day when you get there to do an optional hike if you want to Horseshoe Bend. And you'll get walk up there, get some great photos. That's leisurely hike. It's about 2 miles. Then we go back to the hotel. Dinner is at the hotel. The next day, we're going to do a tour of Antelope Canyon. And you can see these beautiful photos. I'm sure you've seen these images before, but it's really a magical place to go. This canyon was, like really carved from wind and sand. And you'll have a chance, again, led by a Navajo guide. You can take a Jeep again to this area, see the Antelope Canyon, get some beautiful photos. And then from there, you go back to Lake Powell, and you're going to take a scenic cruise on Lake Powell, and you'll get to see this beautiful lake. The lake is huge. I guess the coastline of the lake is as long as the West Coast coastline is. So that shows you how massive this lake is. So then on day 7, so you have 2 nights in Lake Powell where you get to really experience that area. It's absolutely scenic beauty, super quiet as well. Then you're going to we're going to leave Lake Powell, head towards the Grand Canyon. If you've never been to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, you're going to get a chance to see that. So we go to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, have like several hours to visit this area, see some of the spots. You can have lunch there, take a lunch break on your own, sit out and just enjoy the magical scenery. It's a lot less crowded. If you've been to the South Rim, North Rim is so much more tranquil and just as beautiful as the South Rim is. And then we continue on and we go to Bryce Canyon. So you're going to see Bryce Canyon. We're going to do a tour of that on that afternoon. Then we go to your hotel. And then after dinner, and actually that night we do a cowboy dinner. So we're doing this Western dinner with a lot, cowboys, chuck wagon sort of style, with some really good singing as well. And then that night we're doing a stargazing experience. And Bryce Canyon is a dark sky preserve, so it's one of the best places to see stars. So if you're into, again, photography or stargazing, this is one of the highlights of this trip. Then after that, the next day, we're going to do Bryce Canyon again in the morning, Zion National Park in the afternoon. And then here's some images of Zion National Park. And then we head all the way over to Las Vegas. Some of the hotels that we're going to be featuring on this itinerary is the Maven Hotel, which I mentioned is one of those locally owned hotels, very chic. We got the Hoodoo Moab Curio Collection in Moab. And the hotel in Glenwood Springs is really determined at that time. Of course, Lake Powell Resort overlooking the lake, absolutely beautiful place. Best Western, and this is, close by. It's very rustic, but close by to where the cowboy thing is, and in Bryce Canyon. The Mirage Hotel in Las Vegas, which used to be one of my favorites. Siegfried and Roy, I don't think either one of them are around anymore, but sure enough. And so also we have, if you're not able to join the group, and the price of the group was $4,936 for a double, and it was in September 21st. If you can't join that, you can also travel any one other date. Now we're operating mid-August through the end of, middle of November. So we do have this promotion that is available for departures October 24th through November 18th. So if you're interested in traveling between that time period, you can save $150 off per person on the Rockies to the Red Rocks itinerary. And you can choose from one of our itineraries. And also as a Virtuoso customer, there's an exclusive Virtuoso amenity, which is $100 savings per booking. So per couple, you could save $400 on another itinerary, as long as it's 5 nights or longer. And again, we have 18 different packages to choose from. Here's a couple sample packages. This is a self-drive program. So this is not the group itinerary, it's a self-drive. You can go either direction, fly into Salt Lake City, get the car rental from us, go into Moab, spend a couple of nights in Moab, take the train from there to Denver, and then fly home from Denver, or you can extend your stay in Denver, which I would recommend. So that's a 6-day, 5-night program. We also have this one, which is a little bit different than the one I showed you, because this one does not go to, and this is an independent trip. This is Rockies, the Red Rock Explorer, Las Vegas. And it doesn't go to Grand Canyon, doesn't go to Lake Powell. Those are exclusive. So that's why that group itinerary is a phenomenal itinerary. It's also a guided itinerary. It's got a lot of features, as I pointed out, that are included. So, but this, if you're looking for an independent trip, a really nice one, you still get to see Bryce and Zion, Moab, Dead Horse Point, Canyonlands, all that great stuff. We got that. And also we have itineraries as short as 2 days in length. So if you just want rail only, you can do that. Or 3-night classic, which is basically your hotel in Denver, hotel in Glenwood Springs, the hotel in Moab, and a train in the 2-day train journey. And again, I mentioned there's like 18 different packages. You can go either direction. So that's the Rockies to the Red Rocks itinerary, and it is a great itinerary. Definitely highly recommend it. Now, if you're thinking about the Canadian Rockies, I know Angel and Eric still have this itinerary planned in August. Now, the border's not open. We're still hopeful it will open up, but this is a phenomenal trip to the Canadian Rockies. If you're interested in that, certainly speak to them. We're still hoping we can operate, and I think August probably is going to be pretty good. Some of the promotions that we have for individuals to travel. If you're looking to book and you don't want to go on that group itinerary in August, you can go in September on this one. and get 3 perks on our 31 is the new 30. So just talk to the agents about that. All Aboard 2022, if you're thinking about going to the Canadian Rockies next year, we have a promotion where you get 4 perks, 2 complimentary hotel nights, 1 complimentary airport transfer, 1 complimentary dinner for any Canadian Rockies route that you go on. And you have until August 27th to book it. And so there's plenty of time to take advantage of that. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out is if you plan and book now, your deposit would be due. Now, if normal FIT individual booking is 20% deposit due at the time of booking. And if you're looking to do the group itineraries, it's a 10% deposit. So would be due. And then final payment is not due till 30 days prior to travel. So you have a lot of time. Or if you're looking to go next year, 2022, if you book now, you put your deposit down at 20%. You don't have to, that deposit is fully refundable up until December 3rd. So you have a lot of time to make up your mind. So if you're thinking about Canadian Rockies next year, book before August 27th to get those 4 perks. That's what I would recommend. And then if you change your mind, as long as you do it before December 3rd, you get your money back. But you're locking in the price. And I will tell you, and I'm sure Angela, Eric, and all the agents will tell you that availability is going to be tight in 2022 because we didn't operate in 2020. The first 2 months of this year, we haven't been able to operate because of, the COVID. And so a lot of people are booking the trips for next year, and space will get tight to come by. So book early is a rule of thumb. So awards, we won a lot of awards: best rail experience, best rail vacation. I know that you will love this experience if you go on our trains. We get the most beautiful destinations, but the train is really something that people will brag about afterwards, that experience on the train. And then what we can do now is this is who you contact if you want to reserve any one of the groups, and or if you're interested in booking one of the Rockies to the Red Rocks individual packages or Canadian Rockies packages. So there's a lot to choose from. I know that was a lot of information, right?
That is a lot of information, but it was put with some absolutely stunning photography. So I think we can handle it.
Oh, I know. It's a great destination. The U.S. is amazing. I was telling you, we were talking about, I went to Yellowstone earlier last year, and I just fell in love with the national parks again. And so that's a great place Americans can go to, see our beautiful national parks and get in there and do some great photography.
Absolutely. Everyone is muted other than us. And so I did fail to say at the very beginning, if you do have any questions, you can put them either in the chat box or the questions and answers. And Paul and I would be more than happy to answer those now, and or obviously we can chat a little bit either tomorrow or next week in person and on the phone and get more of the details as well. But I do think there was some great information, and I'm just so excited about that itinerary. It's a region that I've really wanted to explore for quite some time and just hadn't found the right fit. But I think this one fits the bill just beautifully.
And somebody asked a question, let's see here in the chat. Is there availability on the September group trip? Yes. Right? We really, this has just been sort of launched. How long have we, about a month ago, right?
It has been, yes, exactly. So we do still have some availability. The inquiries have started picking up now that, a lot of the immunizations and all that kind of thing have gotten underway so well. We're starting to see it fill now, but we do still have availability. Yeah,
one thing, definitely, because I've heard from so many people in our office, the phones have just started picking up. It was very slow in January, February, right? But now that a lot of people have got the vaccine, they're like, okay, I'm ready to go, which is exciting. And there's no restrictions on getting to Colorado, traveling on the train. I mean, we'll have social distancing and all that stuff, but there is no restrictions in terms of going to that part of the world, negative COVID test or any of that stuff, where a lot of places in the world, you kind of have to go through that.
Well, I definitely think that's a huge benefit. And we at Wallace Pearson Travel would like to say that for the bookings in our group side of things, if we had something, within the next month, we would also like to offer a transfer, airport transfers from Wallace Pearson Travel to anyone that would like to travel with our escort and other travelers in the Wallace Pearson group. And then there are two more quick questions. Are you requiring that passengers be vaccinated to travel on Rocky Mountaineer? Not you, but does Rocky Mountaineer require it?
No, I think, I wouldn't be surprised if Canada requires it, when they do open their border. So we would follow whatever guidelines they give us. We have a whole list of things we've done. Like it's amazing how much you have to do. But I will tell you one thing, on our trains, we have this air filtration system that there's a technical term for it, but takes out 99.9% of the airborne particles. And then is the safest, cleanest air you can find anywhere. And even the airlines have started adding that on their aircraft. So like in terms of cleanliness and spacing and, everything we're doing, we're screening people before they get on the train. So it's very, very important that everybody feels safe. We're keeping groups sort of like together in groups of 6, so we won't build, we're trying to keep people the space that they, in smaller groups. So we're not doing the vaccination. Right now, we haven't really felt that we're still kind of waiting for guidelines,
Well, and we do, I think a lot of travelers that are some of the first to come back to travel are going to have some pretty special experiences, because it won't necessarily be forever that you take the time and break us into small groups of 6 like that. And I think it could end up being some pretty special experiences. The other quick question was, how many travelers are on each train car on the
Yeah, so on a Silverleaf rail card, it's a maximum of 54. And so we have the 3 Rocky Mountaineer employees, hosts that are on board, and then maximum 54. Now we may have fewer. So it really depends if, like in Canada, I could see there being fewer just because, depends on what's going on with COVID at that time. But we will make sure there's proper spacing. I know that like in some of the rail cars in Canada, they're gonna have partitions in the dining area and that kind of stuff. So we'll make sure we go above and beyond everything, and I have a list. I can get that to Angela to share, but has a whole like a protocol that we've implemented to make sure people feel, comfortable and safe when they travel.
I'm sure, and we'll greatly appreciate that when we do board.
Yeah, I know. We're all anxious to get it going.
Very. On the Silverleaf cars, is there also some outdoor space available while they're?
There is. So in the rear of the car, there's a section where there's a window on both sides, and also that lounge car on the Silverleaf Plus. If somebody opts to do that, they'll also have that section there. So, and I think they're planning on sort of attaching the lounge car open space with the other, with the rail car open space. So you kind of have them back to back. So yes, there is some open space windows on each side. It's not a huge space, but you could comfortably fit like 4 or 5, 6 people at a time out there, and you get the fresh air, get some nice photos. The windows are also very nice where they're not super, we have glare free sort of, or limited glare on those windows, so people can take pictures. You won't even know you're inside. So they're really beautiful, and it's the big picture windows. They're really fantastic.
Absolutely. And then I'm not sure if you would already have this information with you right now, or maybe it's something that our team will follow up with reservations about. There was a question: what is the cost to upgrade the September group trip?
I would have to find out. Like, I don't remember if, I don't think so. we didn't have the Silverleaf Plus available when we booked this.
Mhm.
You know, so I would have to check to see if we can get some seats for Silverleaf Plus. We originally, when we launched this, we were only going to bring one lounge car down, which is totally being designed right now up in Kamloops in Canada. They're actually doing it as we speak, creating this lounge area. There's going to be a cocktail, bar in there, and then also, some lounge seats. So we didn't have a lot of seats for groups in Silverleaf Plus, but I can check and I can see if that's a possibility of adding that as a potential add-on.
Thank you. That would be fantastic.
You did ask, I think you asked a question before, if somebody missed a picture when they were on the train.
Right.
We actually introduced a round trip train journey. You'd be going on the same route, but for a lot of people that they are fine with it. So they'd fly into, or in some cases, a lot of people want to drive, right? So they may not want to get on a plane. They'll drive to Denver, they'll hop on the train and they do a round trip train back to Denver, spend some time in Moab, and they get to see Glenwood Springs and a couple times and hit the hot tub. Maybe they'll be 20 years younger after they're done.
Right.
There's a lot of cool stories about Glenwood Springs too, like Doc Holliday. You heard of him, right?
Uh-huh.
I guess he was a dentist too. His burial is his cemetery is there, and they do ghost tours. They also Al Capone. It used to stay at one of the hotels that we have there, and Molly Brown. You know who Molly Brown is? The survivor from the Titanic. Used to stay.
Right.
Yes, yes, and Teddy Roosevelt used to go there all the time.
Wow.
Stay there because it was like a spa resort for the rich and famous when the train finally got there. Which is interesting because Banff also has the hot springs, and that's what brought people there initially.
All comes together, doesn't it? Well, I think that does the questions, and we will definitely continue to follow up with everyone and get a little bit. We got some great information from you late this afternoon. We'll share, and it was a beautiful presentation as always, and ready to get back on those trains now.
Yes, yes. Well, we hope you all join us this year. Come to the U.S. route this year, and maybe go Canada next year. Or if you want to roll the dice and try to get into Canada, we're ready for you.
Sounds great.
So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And thanks everyone for taking the time to join us this evening. We'll chat soon.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
You too.